Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal. How you all doing? It's 3 degrees here in Canada. Well, at least on the west coast of Canada. And that would make it 39, 40, I think. 38, yeah. And we're definitely getting better on this. All right, and on a sort of overcast morning, there's a little bit of that wet stuff hitting my windshield, but very, very little. Just not even worth putting on the windshield wipers, if you know what I mean. It's just spotting, as they say. So seriously, I made a mistake here. I got behind a person that isn't turning right, and I thought they were. Which means I've now got to wait for the yep, here we go. Okay, a little bit of a sidetrack. So used to just being able to quickly turn right, and then I got behind somebody who was too far over, so I couldn't get inside them, if you know what I mean. That sounds totally wrong, doesn't it? Alright, so I am so far behind on the videos, it's not even funny. Even though I put 2 up yesterday, I'm still not up to date, because I still have yesterday's vlog that I haven't processed yet. So I'll do the 2 again tonight, and then we should be up to date. Of course, it made me laugh when I was processing the one yesterday, and it talked about, you know, please join us for the Oscars. Yeah, right, they've gone, Sal. They're done. I just went, okay, fine. They'll understand. It sounded good at the time. Anyway, it'll only affect those people who only listen and do not read, because do not watch, because those who watch will see a thing that goes up and goes, yep, and the Oscars are done. But it was... obviously my heart was in the right place on Saturday, even if my coordination wasn't. And to be fair to myself, which I have been struggling with, I've had some emotional turmoil going on in my household for the last couple of days, and that sort of put me behind the 8 ball in terms of getting things organized in the right order. And I'm forgiving myself for that, and I know that you guys will, because you're always the first to remind me that looking after me is the most important thing. So just know that I've had some stuff going on, which has made it very difficult to process. Also very busy at work, and so by the time you get home and cook dinner and everything else, it's a little overwhelming, but I'm hanging in there. I'm actually doing fairly well in terms of hanging in there. I'm really aware of what is going on around me, and really aware of pacing myself accordingly, even at work. And this is called, you know, one person can only do so much, and if I try to do more than so much, then I will make myself sick, and I don't want to do that. Been there already this month, right? So I am getting quite excited, because I'm pretty sure that the twins are going to be here very soon. And life as we know it will change forever. And I know that it's going to be quite a change for Benji and Judy. And quite a change for all of us, I think, who know them and love them dearly. And I'm sure for all of you who are watchers, you're as excited as the rest of us. So I keep hoping that Judy will get some rest. I know she won't, but get some rest, because the next 18 years are going to be pretty pretty exhausting, is all I can think of. I don't know why I find it amusing. I think it is going to be amusing. Do you know what I mean? I think that there's going to be a lot of learning for everybody around us, and I find that really, really exciting. It's really a big time for babies. All sorts of people I know are having them, have had them, whatever, and so I am delighted for them. And I can't help feeling that being very heavily pregnant in the winter is probably slightly more comfortable than being very heavily pregnant in the summer. But I could be wrong. What do I know? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, right. So, that's it. I decided to get up a little bit early this morning. And take a couple of extra minutes for myself, because I noticed that I've been rushing in the last couple of mornings, and I didn't want to be doing that again. I was really pleased with my 10-minute discipline yesterday. I did 10 minutes on the turtle gym, and oh gosh, was my back sore, and I can feel that muscle this morning. Obviously complaining about what I tried to get it to do in balance yesterday. So I'm going to need to make sure that I keep doing that, because until this muscle stops complaining every time I straighten it up. And I was really aware when I got on the turtle gym and I was lying down that, you know, oh, my spine was so stiff. And then, you know, after 10 minutes on the turtle gym, you could just feel that, you know, it was really bending nicely. So, got to do more of that. Got to build up that core and make those muscles work the right way. And I can do that. I'm still fighting the battle of the bulges, and I'm still fighting to get back to where I was, and I'm trying to change my food intake to some degree. Unfortunately, I still had some peanuts and stuff left over from the Oscar party last night, but I literally am now just taking fruit and a little bit of cheese to work. No, that's not totally true. I take some crackers for my morning snack. It's the only time I take carbs during the day, during, you know, the work day, is in my sort of morning snack. And then I think I've got 6 or something. Then the rest of it's fruit and a little bit of cheese. And then what I'm trying to do for the week is just have protein, i.e. some meat and vegetables or salad. I'm trying to just drop a couple of pounds, eating a bit more intelligently. And let's see if it works. I'm trying to think what I've got with me today. I've got strawberries, grapes, marble cheese, and my crackers and cucumber for my morning snack. So, oh, and a big apple. So that should keep me out of trouble. The other thing that I find is that I'm trying to eat those things in not at sort of like 1 or 2 sittings. I'm trying to eat a little bit here, a little bit here. Just sort of every couple of hours take a little bit to eat so that I don't get hungry. And we'll see how that goes. So I'm still on a mission. So between doing the exercise and just changing the diet up a bit, hopefully that will work. I will keep you up to date on how it's going. Still a lot of water lying around here. I gotta tell you something. So obviously there's a lot of runoff coming down the rivers. So as much rain as we had higher up the river, they must have had a lot as well, but this much water is coming down. Quite amazing. I'm still listening to the news, and you know, I shake my head because I sort of go, I don't know whether I just totally misunderstand Putin's mind. Because if I heard it correctly this morning, his new thing this morning was the people of Crimea have the right to decide for themselves. Now, Crimea is not a separate country. Crimea is like a region of the Ukraine. But what Putin's saying is that the people in the Crimea have the right to be defended by Russia. Well, we know why. Because they happen to sit on the little channel where he needs to be able to get his ships out, that's why. But anyway, we won't worry about that. But anyway, so his rationale is that the people of Crimea should have the right to decide for themselves. Now, that would be like saying that Washington State should have the right to decide whether to become part of Canada because they border on Canada. And also that Washington State has the right to be defended by Canada because they're on the border. I mean, really. You know, Washington State is in America. It needs to get defended by Americans. So therefore, the Crimea is part of the Ukraine. And Russia does not have the right to go in there and send its troops in there. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just can't understand where Putin's justification is, other than convenience. You know, he would prefer it to be different. So I find it, maybe it's about denial. How many people do we know that are in total denial of their reality? And I can't help wondering whether maybe he's just getting very bad advice from his advisors who actually don't understand international law. Is that possible, I wonder? So anyway, maybe it's in denial. Maybe he is totally in denial and that's the reason. Let's give him that possibility. scary step. So my reality for today is, what am I in denial of? Do you turn the mirror on yourself every now and then? What I try and do is, when I'm getting upset with people, or finding people are upsetting me, which is the same thing, I prefer to take personal responsibility for it, though. You know, I turn the mirror on myself and go, you know, where am I doing this to other people? And I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's actually quite strange, because your first reaction is, I don't do that, and then if you really look hard, sometimes you find that you do. And so I think it's really interesting to do that every now and then. Or if somebody's really nice to you and you're going, wow, that is such a good person. And sometimes it's nice to turn the mirror on yourself and go, am I ever that nice to anybody? And you'll probably find out that you are. And that is a wonderful feeling, obviously. And you have every reason to be proud of yourselves. And, you know, if you're not perfect, which none of us is, it's also okay to have that mirror and just go, okay, fine. I didn't handle this in the best possible way, but I am working on handling it better. I find it challenging today when, I don't know if any of you have found this, but that our whole society has changed so much in the last 20 years. And with the advent of internet and all the gadgets, we seem to have changed our social habits a lot. Now, it isn't just because of the technology, but I think to a large degree it is because we used to go out a lot to entertain ourselves, you know, to stop going stir crazy, to stop, to give ourselves a change of pace or whatever. And of course today we get to travel the world from the comfort of our screens. You know, you can just click on a movie or click on click on some YouTube or do whatever and totally change your environment for those few minutes. And so I don't think we do go out and experience the outside world as much as we did. And that in turn, in some cases, makes us more insular, makes us less sociable. In a way, makes us less in need of people. We believe that we can survive, you know, on our own, just about. And so one of the things that I thought we might talk about a little bit in the next couple of days is, what are we doing to make sure that we spread our wings a little bit this spring? And two things that I would really like to concentrate on this spring, obviously. One is cleaning. Yeah, right. And the other is a brand new look at life. Somebody was telling me recently that I was their only friend. And so you got to look at that and go, that's a heck of a responsibility for anybody. And quite honestly, I didn't want to be in that position. Because that is, it may be true, But that's a heavy responsibility that I really don't want. And I think each of us has to look and say, that is also a dangerous situation, in as much as if anything happens to that one friend, then your life has been dramatically changed. So I'm a great believer in making sure you have a handful of friends. And maybe they have slightly different roles in your life. They don't all have to have the same role in your life. But it's a really good idea to do that. And you don't have to do a whole lot. These days. Because when I say you don't have to do a whole lot, but how do you keep touch? So I was just wondering whether you'd give some thought to which of your friends have you not kept in touch with recently. And maybe this week you might consider just dropping them an email or making a phone call or just saying you were thinking of them. Sometimes it doesn't take much more than that. I had somebody, one of my viewers, who wrote to me because she has just come out of being hospitalized for the manic phase of bipolar. And the manic phase is the very high. You know, bipolar is when you go from very high to very low. So you go from overstimulation to depression, and that's the swing. Whereas most of us sort of have, you know, we have a median line and we go slightly above it and slightly below it. But yeah, a manic person goes way up above and then can drop way down below. And the problem that this viewer had is she went manic and didn't come down again. And that must be a very, very difficult, frightening place to be, as difficult and frightening as depression is. And so I put out the word on Facebook yesterday for anybody who has experience of the manic phase. I know a lot of people who have experience of the depression side of it, but I don't know many people that have had first-hand experience of the manic side. And I guess it is, again, something we all get to learn a bit about because we've got somebody that's struggling with it. And it must be so difficult when you are struggling with finding the right medication to keep that manic phase under control whilst living the rest of your life as a mother and somebody who works for a living and all the other things. And what I tried to say was that eventually they will get the right medication, hopefully the right medication mix sorted out where her life can continue in relative normalcy, you know, where she doesn't have to be frightened of this, doesn't have to be frightened that any minute now something could trigger her way off the scale again. And that is my prayer for her, without a doubt. So if any of you who are watching this or listening do have experience of the manic side of manic depression, which is now called bipolar, I really would love to hear from you and see if we can give some support, because my great understanding of Dear Mama Sal as a channel is that we bring up issues that not many people talk about, and by so doing we get to help a lot of people. And so if one person is writing to me about the manic side of bipolar, then that means there are other people who may be watching who also suffer. And maybe we can help not just one but some. That would be my wish. All right, so everybody, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Have a good look at yourself this week. Whenever you judge somebody, turn the mirror and see how much you're doing it to yourself. It's actually quite surprising. But keep your sense of humor. And above all, make yourself happy today. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to bother. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you so much for being there. A big virtual hug to those who need it, and that would be everybody. And don't get spoilt by having 2 videos a day for the next couple, yesterday and today, or tomorrow will be another day when you get 2. It's not going to continue. It's just I got a little bit behind. Love you dearly. This is DearMamaSal saying bye bye for now.